I said, Gary, I am devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. He said, Larry, he said, every time I call you and you haven't won the Stanley Cup, he says, you're going to be devastated. You know, so,
The NHL All-Star Game is this weekend, but I think it's important to know about a different All-Star. Jeremy Jacobs. I'm sorry for that. That's what happens when you say the name Jeremy Jacobs. I'm sorry. This man is the long-running owner of the Boston Bruins and is chairman of the NHL Board of Governors. Gary Bettman gets plenty ire as commissioner, but it is extremely safe to say his ire is but a drop of water in the overflowing bucket of ire towards Jeremy Jacobs. The bottom line is his foremost consideration. He was instrumental in the league's most recent lockouts, yes, that's plural, and even his super elite dressage community, that's horse dancing for us common folk, is extremely outspoken against the riffraff. And by riffraff, they mean people making less than 6 figures annually, or anyone who likes Akon for that matter. So how does this Mr. Burns-esque man affect the league? The general idea is that Jacobs and the owners at large regard the players with contempt. This is borne out in the pervasive culture in hockey, which is one of obeisance. Individualism is shunned in the National Hockey League. Players are expected to toe the line and sacrifice for the team. The bottom line is, don't speak out, don't be different. It's all about the logo on the chest, not the name on the back. God forbid any hockey player have an actual personality. This culture of team servitude is used against the players in contract negotiations, and more importantly, collective bargaining negotiations. Because at the end of the day, these guys just want to play hockey, and the owners all know that, and will leverage that desire with the pervasive culture of towing the line and manipulate the players into feeling guilty for having defied the owners, team's wishes. The NHL has forbidden its players from going to Pyeongchang for the Olympics, and while on the surface the choice was driven by insurance costs, the true reason was to create even more leverage for the owners for the next CBA negotiations. Hey, you guys want to go to the 2022 Olympics? Then give us 15% more revenue. Bitches. And this is where it gets to us. We get a shitty product.
PK's got a tremendous personality, and sometimes you got to keep it under control. This worries me. We got a game tonight. Focus in. We don't need to be a clown out there, and he will. He's been a clown in the past. We've seen him act like a clown.
I do agree with you. That is a concern, that he becomes the show rather than just part of it like he was in round number 1. If you're Peter Laviolette, I do think there's a time you need to reel him in a little.
Right.
These are the analysts we get from NBC. A year after the NHL becomes outspoken for inclusivity of the queer community in its sport, the league hires racist and homophobic asshole Kid Rock to play its All-Star game. The loser point, so-called because even if you lose in overtime or the shootout, you still get 1 point, misleads fans into thinking their bad team is actually competitive in the standings, which only serves to wring a few extra games worth of ticket and concession sales out of the season. And then the owners are going to bully a few $100 million more from the players during the next CBA negotiation, while simultaneously charging Seattle a $650 million new franchise fee on top of the $600 million the city is already spending renovating a new arena, so the owners won't have to pay out of pocket for one. And now you know why that shit happens when you say the name Jeremy Jacobs.